Welcome to Dodgers Dogs as part of the Dodgers Daily Network. Casey Porter here, joined by Mark Watkins, as I am each and every Tuesday and Thursday. Mark, it's been a while since we've talked. There's been a lot going on. Yamamoto had a rough start. Sasaki had a rough start. Gonsolin and May had really good starts. The Dodgers had a great game on Friday offensively, a dud on Saturday, and then another great game Sunday. So dive into that wherever you want to start.
Right, yeah, they were a little bit up and down, and as you mentioned, yeah, couple of the guys had some rough starts this week, but inconsistent, I guess you could say, but they still have the best record in baseball, so you got to love that anyway.
Yeah, what'd you think about Yamamoto? Let's back all the way up. Let's go all the way back to last Thursday's game. Yamamoto, let's start with him.
Yeah, he obviously struggled a little bit. I think his command was just a little bit off. Have to wonder if with him and with Sasaki, if the little bit shorter layoff kind of threw him off, because they're sometimes these pitchers and players too become creatures of habit, as far as the amount of days off they have, and they're used to having 6 days of rest. So that could have been a factor. I'm not sure if it was, but they obviously both didn't have the usual stellar outings that they're used to having, it seems like.
Yeah, we'll get to Sasaki here in a minute, but Yamamoto always talk about that 60% in zone rate, and it was an interesting outing. But hey, Shohei Ohtani, it has not been interesting for him. It's been totally awesome. Matter of fact, he's ahead of his pace from last year, which was one of the most incredible years you'll ever see.
Yes, it feels like he's not really been doing lately. He's heated up, but overall it kind of seems like he hasn't been doing as much as he did last year, but he's actually exceeding his numbers from last year so far. So that's really impressive. Once he starts pitching, obviously I don't think he'll achieve the numbers offensively that he did last year, assuming he starts pitching. But yeah, he's off to another impressive start, and he's been really hot lately.
Yeah. The Freddie Freeman thing snuck up on me. Not that he's great, not all this, but it's like he went from like a 280 hitter to like what he's doing now, and it seemed like it just kind of at least it did on me. I'm probably an audience of one there, but wow, he's just been amazing. Congratulations to him, Player of the Week. Another huge game on Sunday. Just Freddie Freeman's been unbelievable. He's
been on a tear, and exceeding my expectations for him, especially since he's had some injury issues, and I was a little concerned about him coming into this year, because I know that he had that ankle problem, and I was wondering how much it was going to affect him, if it was going to be kind of a ongoing issue for him, but it doesn't seem to be affecting him at all. He's having a great year. Mm-hmm. He was actually player of the week too, so yeah, off to a great start.
I want to remind everybody that we have a huge Down on the Farm segment. I mean huge. We're going to cover Clayton Kershaw, Michael Kopech, Justin Robleski, Nick Frasso. We're going to go all the way down to Mike Sirota, Sean Paul, Lignan, Yunsuk Yang. So, it's just absolutely Kellen Lindsay, Kendall George. We've got it all. Josue DePaula. We've got it all covered today on Down on the Farm. Mark's going to stick around with us for that segment as well. So make sure and stick around. We have a loaded show today. So let's back up to the actual action over the weekend, Mark. Friday night's game. What a crazy game that was. That was one of the craziest games you'll ever see.
Yeah, well, that was a great one. To see the Dodgers, obviously 14-11, a lot of runs scored, but it's kind of a back and forth game, and definitely one of the better games of the year. To me, it was great to see the Dodgers, show some fight and fire in that game, and come back and win it the way that they did. That was super exciting.
It was. 15 hits, 12 walks. So there's 27 bases right there. 5 hitters had multi-hit games on Friday, okay? And then in the third, you had the Kike Pages and Freddie Freeman, the hits, and then you had the sac fly from Mookie. And then you had the dramatics in the ninth, which was awesome because, hey, Andy Pages, he's always been able to cover that outside pitch. Usually he pulls that pitch to left field. It's the inside pitch that I was curious how he would deal with in terms of velo. He got to a sinker on the inner half, so Andy Pages is hitting changeups down the zone. He's hitting sinkers on the inner half. He's covering the outside part of the plate like he always does. And then another thing that I really enjoyed watching on Friday, so it's results and then process. the results were great, obviously, with the dramatics. But Max Muncy got on top of a fastball. That was another big process. So Andy Pages getting to the inside sinker, Max Muncy getting on top of the fastball, and then Shohei Ohtani finished it off by just absolutely nailing that cement mixer. So that was super exciting.
Yeah, great points, and it was great to see Max Muncy get that big hit because he needed that, obviously, and good to see Pages making the adjustments that he is. It's we talk about all the time. It's a big game of adjustments, and for young players like Pages, those are critical. Mm-hmm. And then obviously Ohtani with the big home run, and he kind of trolled Gurriel a little bit, I think, on his home run trot when he hit it. I was like, wow, he's usually not that demonstrative the way he flipped his bat and everything. Yeah. And then I saw later that they compared him to Gurriel. I was like, oh wow, that's pretty funny that he did that, I think. So
yeah. What goes around comes around. In the game of baseball, Tony Vitello and the Tennessee Volunteer Baseball Program at the college level need to learn that. They are there's something to watch. I'll put it to you. That's the nicest thing I can say about them.
Oh,
so
really?
Roki Sasaki. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh no, I was just saying I hadn't seen them play, so I wasn't aware of that. But
yeah, they like to talk. They got beat at home this weekend by their in-state rival, the Vandy Commodores, and I enjoyed every minute of it. So
okay,
yeah. So Roki Sasaki, again, process results. I've heard that they're intentionally keeping his fastball down. I don't know. I mean, whenever you hear information like that, you never know what part of that's actually true, what part's not, what part's spin, what part's just trying to make sure and show a vote of confidence or whatever. But the fastball set 94, and it got hit. I mean, so here's an example. The splitter landed. That was good for Sasaki. So Marte, home run, 94 mile-an-hour fastball. Naylor, he got a hit, 92 mile-an-hour fastball. Suarez, home run, 94 mile-an-hour fastball. Thomas got a base hit. Alex Thomas got a base hit at a 94 mile-an-hour fastball. Then in the third, the easiest inning of the night, he still gave up 2 hits that were 95 or above, although they were hit right at the Dodgers, and he got outs with those. 4 innings pitched, 5 hits, 5 runs, no strikeouts, 2 walks, 2 home runs. Double to Suarez was on the splitter, although the splitter was a good pitch. 97 mile-an-hour ground ball to Gurriel. There's another hard hit on a fastball to score Suarez. So really, I mean, if you're wanting to be concerned about Roki Sasaki beyond just the results of it, the 4 innings pitched, 5 hits, 5 runs, and then really the big one was the lack of strikeouts. Beyond that, it's the fastball. The fastball is getting hit. It's 94 miles an hour, and that's just kind of what it is.
Yeah, if they're intentionally keeping the velocity down, they might want to rethink that because, especially on the major league level. I mean, if they're going to do that, then they may need to send him down to the minors and let him work on things because major leaguers, obviously, velocity isn't everything, of course, but 94 mile-an-hour fastballs, when that's one of his main pitches that he relies on, that's just not gonna work very well. We have to keep in mind that he's a rookie pitcher who's transitioning, to the major league. So there's going to be a learning curve, but don't want to see him obviously take too many rough outings like that.
Yeah, and don't want to make too much out of it. I mean, it is what it is. The velo, I'm sure, will ramp. I know nothing behind the scenes, so take that for face value, and kind of what I'm saying is take it for what it is right now. It's a 94 mile-an-hour fastball. It's getting hit. Whatever the reasons are for that, we don't know that. So we'll just have to wait and continue to see what happens and trust the Dodgers. Saturday night's game, Shohei Ohtani leads off with a base hit. Mookie Betts grounds in the double play, and you're just kind of like, and by the end of the night, you're like, well, that was kind of the omen for the whole night offensively for the game Saturday. But Dustin May, no doubt, stole the show. So it's like Tony Gonsolin and Dustin May, the 2 homegrowns. We love all these the sizzle and the free agency with we got Glass now last year and Ohtani and Blake Snell and all these guys. You forget your homegrown guys, Dustin May and Tony Gonsolin. Hey, they're pretty good too. Especially the May outing, and Gonsolin I come to expect just the kind of consistency what he does, but the May deal, I was super pleased with Dustin May. 6.2 innings. 7 hits, 2 runs, 5 strikeouts, just 1 walk. This was it for Dustin May. I loved it.
Yeah, I love to see that too. He's the way he's progressing, and he's been a little bit inconsistent, but that was a great outing for him. He really needed to see that, and it's always good, like you said, to see the young homegrown guys come up and pitch well. So that they're a big part of the rotation right now, obviously.
Yeah. Bobby Miller. All right, we're going to get into this next part. Basically a two-pitch pitcher, right? Okay, he was a sinker sweeper guy. I mean, almost exclusively two freaking pitches. So
Right.
You know what that does for a guy in Dustin May who's coming off all these injuries? It simplifies the execution piece because he's not trying to execute 5 different pitches. He's trying to execute a right turn with a sinker, and he's trying to execute a left turn with a sweeper. And he's saying, hey, guys, that's good enough. If I throw enough strikes with this, you can't hit it. So being a two-pitch pitcher simplified the execution. Bobby Miller, it got him in the zone, and because of that, he was very effective. I just thought Yamamoto did that last year for about 3 or 4 outings where he just really reduced it down to kind of a 2.5 pitcher type of guy. I love the fact that he simplified. If he is able to do that, why can't somebody like Bobby Miller is my point.
Right. I mean, if your 2 pitches are dominant enough, then you can get away with it, I think. Obviously, if guys that don't have dominant pitches, that maybe they have to mix it up a little bit more and throw 3 or 4 pitches. But if those 2 pitches are dominant enough and you can maybe change speeds, change levels, that kind of thing, have really good command, that you can get away with it at times.
Yeah. Kind of my point is I don't care what you have in your bag. If you're not executing, it does not matter what you're throwing to home plate if it's not getting it. So whatever you are capable of executing, that's what you need to be throwing to home plate. That's what Dustin May's doing. And so the sinker was 95 to 97. It landed 56% of the time. That is great execution. Sweeper landed almost 50% of the time. And so it got great weak contact. So it was all about an execution focus and putting a game plan together that Dustin May could execute. And then Sunday, what makes a great team? Hey, duds are going to happen. Offense is going to come and go, even for a roster as talented as the Dodgers. How about the bounce back on Sunday? It's not just the runs. It's the way it was the focus. Sometimes, losing sucks, but sometimes it can refocus you on fundamentals. Freddie Freeman, opposite field gap home run. Gap to gap, left center to right center. Shohei Ohtani hit up the middle. Will Smith, double to right center. Mookie Betts, home run to the opposite field. The Dodgers, obviously, after getting shut out on Saturday, they refocused to hitting the ball to the opposite field gap and hitting the ball up the middle, and they absolutely put on a clinic.
Definitely, it was obviously they needed they needed that bounce back. I think you don't want to lose 3 out of 4 to a division rival, but love to see him bounce back that way. And as you mentioned, use the whole field, do a lot of oppo hitting. I mean, Corbin Burns is a pretty tough pitcher to deal with, so you can't knock him too much for the game Saturday. But it's still good to see him bounce back on Sunday.
It sure was. So Gonsolin. Where you at with Gonsolin? 2-0 on the year, 3 hits, no runs, 4 strikeouts, 2 walks. Fastball didn't get hit. The fastball, that's always been the key for him. The splitter's great, but when he's not getting ambushed on the fastball, that's a huge deal for him. And then also his slider was good. So we think of the splitter when we think of Gonsolin, but really it was the fastball and the slider that complemented that splitter that kind of let him get to that splitter in counts to where he could use it most effectively.
Right, Gonsolin, he has a good pitch mix, and his command is really impressive. I think that's one of the things that really makes him successful. Is he can pitch, keep it on the paint on the sides of the strike zone, and he really, I think that's his game, and what makes him really successful. Totally
agree. So the bullpen, Tanner Scott looked great on Friday and Sunday. Yates looked good on Saturday. Bonda and Vesia. Bonda has not looked good. Alex Vesia has been what he can do this sometimes. He can kind of give you that roller coaster effect. So where are you at with the bullpen?
Right. Yeah. Unfortunately, Bonda has been inconsistent. I hope he can get back in the groove. They really need him, obviously, in the bullpen. So, but Gonsolin, I guess it happens with every reliever. They throw in some bad ones here and there, but not Gonsolin. I say Gonsolin. I meant
Vesia.
Vesia.
Yeah.
Vesia. He's obviously had one of the bad ones, but he's usually pretty consistent.
Yeah. So lots of injuries. It's going to be all hands on deck. Landon Knack starts tonight. This was the part of the season we felt like Dodgers have a 1.5 game lead. I felt like coming out of, they have the A's and the Angels and then the Diamondbacks. That's 8 more games before you get to the Mets and the Yankees at the end of the month. I felt like by the end of the Diamondback series, need to have about a 4-game lead. That's what I was hoping. Best case scenario, that was a 4.5 game lead. They're a game and a half back. So what are you looking forward to here in this coming up stretch?
Well, I mean, the A's have been playing a little better than they were last year, but still the Dodgers should be able to win most of these games. Hopefully they'll win almost all of them or all of them.
Yeah.
It's they should be able to have a pretty good little stretch here, and hopefully go into this, like as you said, the series against the Mets and the Yankees with a decent lead.
Yeah. So you ready to take a trip down to the farm?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, just a reminder, don't go away. We have Kendall George, Kellen Lindsay, Josue DePaula, Clayton Kershaw, Michael Kopech, Mike Sirota, you name it, we have it. So let's not waste more time. Let's get right to it. Let's take a trip down the farm. Welcome to Dodgers Daily Down on the Farm. Who you are looking at right here is one Mr. Kendall George, and he has maybe some of the greatest speed. He's been compared to Billy Hamilton, and what I mean by that is on the 2 to 8 scale in terms of speed, he is an absolute 8. So how fast is Kendall George? Right here, that is 3.8 to first base. Now, that one isn't, but whenever he hits a ground ball, he's 3.8 to first base. The average left-handed hitter in the major leagues is 4.2 to second base. So he is as elite as it comes in the running game. It is absolutely as legit as can be. And his speed is so good, it's called what's called a carrying tool, which means it's such a good tool, it can carry some of his other tools that are less developed, which means Kendall George is going to continue to get one chance after the other, and rightfully so because he's very good.
Yeah, he's electrifying. He's just really fun to watch, and he's just I'm a huge fan of players with that speed and athleticism. And as we talked about, the Dodgers have placed more focus on getting more speed and athleticism into the organization. He's kind of exhibit A, I think.
Yeah.
If he can slap the ball down and get on base like that, and maybe drop some bunts here and there, he can be really effective.
Okay, so we're going to go from 180 grade speed, first round draft pick to the second one. Back-to-back years, took Kendall George in 2023, took Kellen Lindsay 2024. This is Lindsay. Lindsay had 2 hits in both. So he had 2 hits on Saturday, 2 hits on Sunday. I love that. Hit the ball on the ground and run, young man. Use your speed. Build the game around your speed. Yeah. Lindsay, 264, OPS 765, WRC plus 119. And how about this? He sprays the ball all over the yard. Pull percentage for Lindsay, 38.5. Center percentage is 30. Oppo is 30. So he uses the entire field. He is building a game around his speed, Kellen Lindsay.
I love to see that. I mean, using the whole field like that and spraying the ball around and using his speed. As they say, speed doesn't slump. So a lot of times when you're in a tough going against a tough pitcher and you just hit some ground balls and beat him out, that can make a big difference in a game.
It absolutely can. I love Kellen Lindsay. I love his game. I just love the way that he plays. And then I'll tell you my favorite hitting prospect in the system, hands down right now, Mike Sirota. This dude, I love watching this guy hit. And so dive into Mike Sirota, what you see from him.
He seems like he can do it all offensively. He's got a great all-around game, and he's just tearing it up. I don't know how much longer he's going to be down on the Quakes the way he's hitting, but he's showing power, showing speed. He's just dominating.
He absolutely is, and not just him. Here's the thing about the Dodgers. Okay. Check out these young outfielders in the system. Eduardo Quintero, Mike Sirota, Josue DePaula, Jose Ramos, Zaire Hope, and then you've got wild cards like Damon Keith, who's very good. You got Ryan Ward, who's been one of the best offensive players. You've got Cole Myers, who's one of the fastest guys in the system, who leads the system in walks. The outfield crop is as good as it's ever been for the Dodgers down on the farm right now.
Right, I don't remember it ever being like this. So many athletic outfielders in the system that are hitting the way they are. Like you mentioned, they have all around game, speed and power, and it's exciting to watch.
It absolutely is. And talking about maybe one of the of course, there's a lot of exciting things to talk about, but certainly one of the most exciting outfielders, not just in the Dodgers system, but in all of minor league baseball. That would be this young man right here, Josue DePaula. Josue DePaula is doing things that I have never seen before, so dive into him.
Right. We talked about him quite a bit, obviously, with his advanced approach, and he's much younger than a lot of players in the levels that he's been playing on, but he's still having great success. And he uses the whole field. He has really good power. He's a very patient hitter, and you just have to love his all-around game.
Yeah, no doubt about that. So we've talked about a lot of the young outfielders. Now let's talk about some of the young pitching. Congratulations to Alex Makarowicz, and then the young man who we're getting ready to talk about right here, and that would be Sean Paul Lignon, who just got promoted to High A Great Lakes, and he didn't miss a beat. I mean, this guy dominated at Rancho. He comes up to Great Lakes, and he dominates again with a great 4 shutout innings for Great Lakes the other day.
Yeah, he's been fantastic. He wasn't really on my radar too much before this year, but he's been really impressive, and he just picked up where he left off with the Quakes coming up to the Loons and having another great start. But he just has a really nice, easy delivery with good velocity and movement, and he's looking really good, looking very composed out there on the mound. Professional
glove hitter, throws a lot of strikes. 4 innings pitched, I believe it's Sunday. 2 hits, no runs, 3 strikeouts, 1 walk. Back-to-back 4-inning outings for Lignon, one with Rancho, then yesterday with the Loons. How about this? ERA for Lignon, 107, whip 083, average against 147, 53 strikeouts to just 11 walks. Wow, Sean Lignon. I'll tell you, he's been amazing. I'll tell you another guy. I've been telling you, put this guy in the Rolodex. You might not have ever heard of him. You need to know who this guy is. This is Carson Hobbs right here. Carson Hobbs is really freaking good. He has big-time secondaries. He has big fastball, advanced sequencing, advanced execution focus. I love Carson Hobbs.
Right, he has that kind of build too. That thick build kind of reminds me of Chad Billingsley a little bit, But he has a great mix of pitches. I know I don't know if he hits triple digits, but I know he comes close to it. He pitches in the upper 90s. Great pitch mix, and he looks to be on the fast track too. Yeah,
definitely a high leverage guy, closer type guy, and another big prospect going back down to Rancho. Yunsuk Jang right here had a great outing the other day for Rancho. Wanted to make sure and get him in. He has a 4-pitch mix. And what I want you to notice is just wait and watch the change-ups that Jang throws here. Just look at that right there. I mean, that's just a wicked change-up. So Yunsuk Jang had a really, really nice outing the other day. That pie-riding 4-seam, a full mix, 2 different types of sliders. Good outing for him.
Yeah, it's nice to see him developing the way he has too. I know he was a really highly rated international signing for them, and he looks like he's progressing really well. Has a great pitch mix.
Yep, another guy. I'm going to go ahead and take this one, and we're gonna move to Ryan Brown. This is a guy you need to put in your Rolodex. He has a Rolodex type. Let me put it to you this way: he has a Rolodex type pitch, that Vulcan change. That is unbelievable. Matter of fact, he went on a streak at Ball State where he struck out 17 out of 20 hitters with that Vulcan change. And again, he's doing it again this year. He is striking out people at a kind of a Jose Rodriguez type clip, and it is not a fluke because his fastball in the mid-90s is a good complement to a very unique Rolodex type pitch in his Vulcan change. So Ryan Brown, a young man out of Ball State who got drafted, fought injury. Look at that Vulcan change right there. Wow. What do you think about that pitch, Mark?
Wow, that's eye-opening, if you have a pitch like that, a dominating pitch like that, it can take you a long way, definitely.
Yeah, no doubt. So let's move up to AAA Oklahoma City. There's just not a whole lot to talk about with Tulsa this year in terms of just wanting to, other than Jose Ramos occasionally. Jackson Ferris had another rough outing as a starter the other day. So we'll get to him a little bit more as we move on, as he starts making some adjustments and figuring out what's going on. But this is Nick Frasso, 3-pitch mix, the slider fastball. You just saw the change. Good outing for Nick Frasso the other day.
That was huge. Obviously, he had the injury last year and set him back, but it's good to see him back on the beam and pitching the way he is. And his velocity is back up in the middle 90s, I should say. So that's getting up there. And I was hoping he was actually going to be able to help the Dodgers last year, but then he obviously had the injury. So it's good to see, like I said, good to see him back on the beam.
Yeah, and shoulders are less predictable than Tommy John, so it is good to see him throw 4 in a third inning. So they're ramping him up slowly. 4 hits, 1 run, 5 Ks, 2 strikeouts, 81 pitches. So hopefully by the end of the year, he can be to that 110, 120. I mean, it's already just only early May, and he's already at 81. That is a great sign, and it's 4-seam touch 95. So again, ramp the velo up slowly. I talked to Robleski on Friday. I'm going to release his interview here in just a minute. He talked about he's ramping his velo up. He thinks he'll be up to 7 or 8 by, probably June, something like that. So I think Nick Frasso will be up around the 96, 97 by June or July, ramping up the velo slowly, ramping up the innings that he's throwing slowly, and it was a good 3-pitch mix for him. So good to see Nick Frasso progressing. And then another guy, great timing for a young man that, like I said, I got a chance to talk to on Friday, releasing his interview today. Justin Robleski, easily the best outing of the year. This young man has changed his release point. He's changed a little bit on his pitch mix and that kind of deal. Had a really good outing the other day, talking about Justin Robleski. 7 innings, 6 hits, 1 run, 5 strikeouts, 2 walks.
Yes, I mean, both of these guys, they could be key for the Dodgers with, obviously with the injuries that happened. They could be important later in the year, could give the Dodgers a boost, but it's good to see him making those adjustments and having success with it.
100%. Fastball touch 97, fastball sat 95. He got it in the zone 63% of the time, and the slider was a very good pitch to. He threw the slider for a strike, 53%. That is a big deal to him. That's just kind of that Clayton Kershaw influence coming off on him. That fastball, get the fastball in the zone, and then throw your slider for a strike. So we're going to save the best for last. We are now going to get to the second rehab outing for Michael Kopech, and then we're going to finish our day with the outing of on Sunday of Clayton Kershaw. So here's Michael Kopech. If you haven't paid attention, his first outing, he threw 18 pitches, only 3 were strikes. He walked all 5 hitters that he faced, did not get an out in his first rehab. So Sunday was a good bounce back for him. He threw 14 pitches, 10 were strikes.
Yeah, right. His first outing was obviously not very good, but so it was important for him to bounce back the way he did, and he was looking like the Michael Kopech that we know. His velocity was in the high 90s again, and he was throwing strikes. So I wouldn't think it'd be too long before we'll see him back up in the major league level.
Boy, and with all the injuries to Evan Phillips and Trinan and everybody, just the bad news coming one after the other. Getting Michael Kopech back would be a shot in the arm, no doubt about that. So there's kind of a mixed bag here with Clayton Kershaw. Velo is sitting at 87. You feel like he kind of needs to. I mean, hey, he's not going to get guys out. That's the left turn he's going to get guys out with. It's going to be movement, location, changing speeds, that kind of thing. Good shapes like that to his pitches. But still 87, you'd like to see him ramp that up to 90, 91 at least, maybe. But that's not his calling card. So the velo is down, although he's continuing to stay healthy. And the fastball, it did get hit, but the slider didn't. Slider had a whiff rate, and curveball both over 40%, over 30%. 4 innings pitched for Kershaw, 2 hits, 2 runs, 2 strikeouts, 2 walks, 57 pitches, 35 strikes. So let's finish this up by talking about what you thought about Clayton Kershaw.
Well, it seems like he's becoming the wily old veteran left-hander, with his pitches. adjusting to not having the velocity that he used to have, and adding some pitches and changing the way he throws. As you mentioned, the knuckle curve, like he's throwing that more. There have been guys who have had success. Obviously, as you mentioned, you'd love to see him have that extra velocity, be up to 90 or more, but we'll see. I think he can still be successful with less velocity.
Wanted to give some honorable mention shout-outs on our Down the Farm segment to Big Joe Vetrano. Had a good weekend for the Great Lakes Loons. Had a couple of home runs, a couple of doubles, and had a couple of multi-hit games. He had a really good weekend. Luke Fox, the lefty for Great Lakes out of Duke, he had a 5-inning performance, 1 hit, 1 run, 7 strikeouts, 5 walks. And then Jaron Elkins, who I talked to D-Mac. D-Mac's going to interview Jaron Elkins here in the next couple of days. He actually, with all the speed down there, Lindsey and Quintero and all these guys, Jaron Elkins is actually the one who leads the Quakes in stolen bases with 15, and he is just absolutely a treasure trove of tools. A big young man. Well, you've seen him. So, hey, your final thoughts about anything that happened down the farm or in the system, Mark?
Yeah, you mentioned both Elkins and Quintero, who was player of the week for the Cal League also, and showing good power and speed and playing center field. But both of those guys have really been playing well for them. And the Dodgers, I mentioned, they're still hanging in there and have the best record in baseball, so you have to love that.
Yep, and a 1.5 game lead. Mark, thanks a lot, man.
All right, thank you, Casey.
For Mark Watkins, I'm Casey Porter. As always, you Dodgers dogs are absolutely the best. Not the biggest, but the best. So until next time, I want to thank you for tuning in and say, as always, it's a great day to be a Dodger.